Welcome back to Offside Talk. I'm Jessica, and today's episode is truly special. We're going deep into the hottest topic in world football right now, Jurgen Klopp's explosive comments on the expanded Club World Cup. It sparked massive debates across clubs, fans, and media.
Absolutely. When Klopp talks, the world listens. He called FIFA's decision to expand the Club World Cup to 32 teams the worst idea ever. That's a bold statement coming from a manager who's always advocated for player welfare. Klopp didn't hold back at all.
And it's not just an offhand comment. He's genuinely worried about players' physical and mental health. He pointed out how after a grueling season, players barely get any rest. 2 weeks after the Champions League final, and they're straight into another high-stakes tournament. It's exhausting even to think about.
Exactly. He said players are treated like machines, expected to play nonstop, fly across continents, and still deliver top-level performances. If anyone knows the toll modern football takes, it's Klopp. His own players, like Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent, have played nonstop for years.
Klopp's words really hit home for me. We keep hearing about muscle injuries, burnout, players needing mental health breaks. You can see it in their faces at the end of the season. Even the fittest stars are drained, and yet the governing bodies keep adding more matches, more tours, more competitions.
True. Klopp also highlighted that football is slowly killing the magic that made us fall in love with it. Instead of epic moments that feel rare and special, we're moving toward a scenario where even finals feel routine because there are so many big games back to back.
That's such a good point. And let's be honest, part of the beauty of a World Cup or a big final is the anticipation and the rarity. If we keep flooding the calendar, those moments lose meaning.
Absolutely. And think about the younger players too. We're seeing teenagers making senior debuts and then playing nonstop through multiple competitions. Clubs invest millions in sports science and recovery, but there's only so much the human body can handle.
Klopp isn't just speaking as a coach, he's speaking as someone who loves the game and wants to protect it. His passion is what makes this such a headline story.
Fans are divided, though. Some argue that more games mean more chances to see their favorite stars and more global exposure. But at what cost? Are we really willing to sacrifice player health and match quality just for more content?
That's the question. And Klopp's comments have forced us to confront it. Clubs, players' unions, fans, everyone is now talking about scheduling reform. Even managers like Ancelotti and Guardiola have hinted at supporting Klopp's stance.
I think this is just the beginning. We might see player strikes, more injuries, and clubs refusing to release players for certain tournaments. The ripple effects could be huge.
Absolutely. And it's not just Europe. South American and Asian players are even more affected because of longer travel and additional national team commitments. The global calendar is bursting at the seams.
Klopp is basically saying enough is enough. He's putting his foot down, and honestly, more managers need to join him if we want real change.
Couldn't agree more. This is just the first part. We'll break down reactions from players, media, and fans in the next segment.
Exactly. While not all players speak publicly, insiders say stars like Kevin De Bruyne and Harry Kane have privately supported Klopp's view. They're exhausted. Kane, for example, has played almost nonstop for over a decade. Even during summers, there's Nations League, friendlies, marketing tours. There's no true off-season anymore.
We saw similar comments from Luka Modric recently. He said he wants to keep playing, but admitted that the constant travel and endless games are making it harder to maintain peak form. And let's not forget all the young talents. Imagine an 18-year-old just breaking into the first team, suddenly playing 60 matches a year.
The risk of injury skyrockets. Look at Pedri at Barcelona. He was hailed as the future of Spanish football. But in 2 years, he played so much, he looked completely worn out by age 20. Klopp's warning isn't theoretical. It's happening in front of us.
Exactly. Another angle people don't consider is mental health. Players are under massive pressure from fans, media, and their own clubs. Playing nonstop only amplifies that stress. We've seen more players stepping away or speaking about anxiety and burnout.
And fans sometimes forget these are human beings, not robots. They have families, personal lives, and emotional ups and downs. Klopp's point that players aren't machines is spot on. You can't expect someone to deliver world-class performances every 3 days without consequences.
Klopp's comments are starting to influence public opinion. More supporters are realizing that protecting the game's future means protecting players first. It's refreshing to see fans starting to speak up for their idols instead of demanding constant entertainment at all costs.
We're even seeing some media outlets change their tune. Usually they want more games for more content, but now they're acknowledging the dangers of oversaturation. Even pundits who once called for more competitions are reconsidering. The tide is turning slowly.
And that's why Klopp's rant wasn't just an emotional outburst. It might be the spark that finally ignites real change in global football. In our next part, we'll dig into how this could reshape club strategies, preseason tours, and even sponsorship deals. Now let's dive into how Klopp's comments might impact club-level decisions going forward. If more managers and clubs stand with him, we could see major changes in how teams plan their seasons.
Absolutely. One big shift could be in preseason schedules. Clubs have turned preseason into massive global marketing tours, playing in the US, Asia, Australia. While these bring in money and build fan bases, they add so much travel and stress before the actual season even starts. If coaches push back, we might see shorter tours or even more localized training camps, focused purely on fitness and tactics.
Another point is squad rotation and depth planning. If the calendar remains overloaded, clubs will have to build even deeper squads to keep players fresh. We could see even more young talents promoted and rotated more frequently. This could be great for academy players, but it also means clubs will need to invest smarter and prioritize player welfare and transfer strategies.
It also affects sponsorships. Sponsors want players to appear everywhere, tours, friendlies, commercial events. But if clubs start pushing back to protect stars, we might see a new balance between commercial interests and player health. Imagine seeing top players decline certain appearances to rest properly. It could become a new norm.
Let's not forget national teams. International windows already cram the schedule, and if you add an expanded Club World Cup, players might have to choose between club loyalty and country. This is a nightmare scenario for fans and federations alike. We might even see clauses in contracts where players negotiate for rest periods.
True, this could fundamentally reshape contracts. We could see agreements including guaranteed rest weeks, minutes caps, or bonuses tied to number of games played instead of just goals and assists. Agents and player unions would have to step up massively to negotiate these protections.
It's also about the quality of football. Klopp warned that if you push players too far, performances will suffer. We all want to see the best, but constant overload risks more sloppy games, injuries, and inconsistent form. It might devalue competitions over time.
Spot on. It all connects. The commercial side, fan expectations, player health, and ultimately, the magic of the game. In our final part, we'll explore what needs to change structurally and how fans can actually influence this movement.
Now we talk about what could actually change if this momentum keeps building. Klopp's comments have lit a spark, but what structural changes are needed to truly protect players and the game?
First, FIFA and UEFA need to seriously reconsider the expansion of tournaments. The idea of more games means more revenue, but at what cost? Limiting the number of competitions or reducing the number of teams could help protect players. The football calendar is overloaded, and trimming it is the only long-term solution.
Second, national federations should work together to simplify the international match calendar. Fewer friendlies, fewer unnecessary tournaments, and more consolidated international breaks would allow players to rest and prepare properly. It's time to prioritize meaningful matches over sheer quantity.
Clubs can also play a part. They need to stand united in prioritizing player health over commercial gain. If the big clubs take a stand together, they have enough influence to push back against governing bodies and sponsors. But they must be brave enough to lose short-term income for long-term sustainability.
Another factor is fan awareness. As fans, we have huge power. If we demand constant content, endless matches, and expect players to be robots, we're part of the problem. Supporting initiatives that focus on player welfare, backing managers who rotate squads, and accepting the need for rest can make a real difference.
Absolutely. Fans need to understand that fewer games don't mean less passion. They actually make each moment more special. Imagine waiting for a final knowing the players are fresh, fully fit, and emotionally ready. That's when you get those magical, unforgettable nights.
Also, media outlets should focus more on player well-being stories and highlight the dangers of overload. Instead of just hyping up fixtures and transfer rumors, giving space to health and recovery topics could help shift the narrative.
In the end, Klopp's outburst might go down as one of the turning points in modern football. If enough voices join him, players, coaches, clubs, and fans, we might finally see change.
Couldn't agree more. This has been such a powerful discussion. Thanks to everyone who stuck with us through this 4-part deep dive. We hope it sparks more conversations in your friend groups, online, and even in stadiums.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments what you think needs to change first. Should there be fewer games? Better rest policies? We want to hear it all.
See you next time on Offside Talk.